I always take life as it comes. I've never planned anything. I know what I like and what I don't like, like everybody else. I feel that I can adapt to many things.
You've effortlessly incorporated. You were down at the factory with Warhol.
Yes.
In New York when that was going off. You've.
I love New York. I think if people would ask me, I think that's where I enjoyed myself the most, because actually we had the possibility to get out of New York almost on weekends and go to the Hamptons.
Well, your ex was a diplomat for Belgium.
Yeah. Belgian diplomat.
Yeah. So yes, you've.
Yeah, so we always had special treatment, even on the plane. I used to arrive with my 3 kids, and people used to be furious. They stopped the plane for me to arrive with 3 children in the south of France. It was they thought, who is this? What are we waiting for? Why are we blocked at the airport? And then they see me coming along with 3 kids. They said, "My God, who is this?" They must have thought that it was going to be, Sophia Loren or somebody famous, And they see me coming on the airport with the 3 small children.
Wonderful to experience that, but not to be caught or trapped by it.
Yeah.
Not to be defined by it, as you say, and then your world can become smaller instead of larger.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you also think that there were certain times that were far more fertile and exciting to be a part of than others? So, for example, New York in the late 60s, early 70s.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, I really think it was. I thought I was walking on even the streets are resonance with the past, you know.
Yes,
I don't know.
absolutely.
In Manhattan, I used to always imagine myself going on because Manhattan is named after a tribe, Manhattan. After the Indian tribes there that were all around. Manhattan comes from the name comes from a very old Indian tribe.
I've never been to a city that had this this energy, this street energy. I mean, even in contemporary visit, that there was just that feeling of power. And it was almost a little relentless in a sense. A little relentless.
Relentless, yes. That's a good word. Relentless.
The feeling of it.
Absolute. The power was very strong. Very, very strong in Manhattan.
So I wanted to ask you about that. When you talk about the resonance of a place, how much do you think it is us as individuals bringing that to the place, and how much do you think is contained in the place itself? Because I often think with Paris, people can have very different experiences of it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that depends on what they bring. I think Paris asks of you to offer it something, and then it amplifies what you're offering back.
Absolutely. I think
in your life, you've never planned anything.
Not really, no.
Do you feel that your life then unfolds with any order or guidance that you don't appreciate, but you can notice perhaps shaping and moulding? In other words, if you surrender to the idea of not planning, is there something else that is taking you through?
Yes, I often think that, I don't know if it's true, but I often think there's a guiding spirit. I call it the guiding spirit. The esprit that you don't know really anything about. I think that we're surrounded by spirits that we don't know anything about. They've been here for thousands and thousands of years. You know, I mean, it's not something. This even here where we're sitting here. You know, there's been other people that have left their imprints.
Yes.
I think that
imprints of the mind. Yes.
Imprints of the mind.
Yes.
That's one of my poems.
Yes.
Yeah, imprints of the mind, and I think that's.
Human and non-human, natural, nature itself.
Yeah, and even the trees, I mean, you imagine what this tree there or these trees could tell us. I mean, that big tree over there, I often think, you know, that what these trees have seen, you know.
I think the same thing, and I often think too that you can look at a tree as if you've never seen a tree before. And it's a very interesting experience because we tune them out because they're so normal and expected. But when you actually look at a tree or trees,
Yeah.
you realize that they come into themselves in a way that makes you see them completely fresh and new.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think they offer you something.
Yeah.
If you're open, there's an exchange that takes place.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you too, what you think of time passing. That's a big one.
Time passing.
Yes, time passing. So I find it very impossible to understand the notion of time. To the degree that I think that it's not what we think it is. It's an illusion. We see ourselves changing. We see ourselves aging.
Yeah.
But having any sense of that, I can't grasp. Maybe it's ungraspable. What does time passing mean to you?
I'll tell you a little story now that Patricia told me, don't tell anyone. She said, "Don't." I called her one day. I said, I just had an incredible experience with my hedge here.
Right.
I said, and I saw the people that had lived here, obviously, walking. I said, it was incredible. It was a vision that was so strong. I mean, I wasn't sleeping. I knocked myself. I was here and there. I saw them walking kind of through my hedge. I always call my friend Patricia with these things. She said, that's incredible. She said, but don't tell anyone. Kind of as if you start telling things like that, people are going to think you're nuts.
Yes,
that you've gone off your brain, and she's seeing people walking through the hedge. So I said to Patricia, I saw the whole crowd of people walking through my hedge, you know. So these for me are people that have lived here, or they probably wasn't houses or anything. People just walking in the forest. This was a forest. All this here where we're living now in Nîmes was a forest.
Wow.
This is all remains of the big forest of Paris. I'm living with this tree and all the trees around here. And that some people build these horrible buildings.
Yes, but the trees remain mute. They're just mute witnesses of our temporary structures, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure that they could tell us a whole. I sometimes muse about that.
I haven't had any experiences like that. I probably won't. But I certainly think that
you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say it. No, you shouldn't say I probably won't. You never know. You leave yourself completely free. You must be free. You must get rid of all the things that have been that you've been brought up with. Absolutely. It's a normal way. You've got to bring your kids up. You've got to tell them this and that.
You're absolutely right, actually.
You know,
a good reminder.
In the end, you just don't. You leave yourself open and let it come, you know. I remember. Who is that now? I had an old woman. I remember. She said, "Let it come, let it come." You know, she was listening to me, and we were talking. And I don't know which was that woman. I don't know where I was even. Anyway, she was obviously very interested. And she said, you must let it come. You don't let anybody or anything interfere with these vibrations of let it come.
Because so often I think our upbringing closes things off.
Yeah.
And leaves us with expectations as to how things should be.
Yeah.
And when they're not that way, we almost force them to be. Whereas your advice would be no planning, let it come.
Yeah. I thought that was wonderful. Let it come, let it come. Sure. And so now I just let it come, let it come. And that's the way to treat special occasions, special vibrations, not occasions, vibrations. It's the vibrations that remain maybe for thousands of years. We don't know. What do we know about the past? What do we know about even the birth of the earth?
I think that's so true.
We don't know very much.
I've been thinking recently about biography. So we read of someone's life. Generally, they have some fame and some attraction to us. So we read about their life, but their life is condensed into a story, and that story can in no way be a representation of what happened.
No,
it's simply a narrative, a story.
Yes.
And in some ways, I think that's something to celebrate, but not celebrate as a piece of non-fiction, but celebrate as a kind of imagined account of something.
Yeah.
But I do remember an ongoing theme of yours is, what do we truly know?
Voila.
And you would then answer that question,
Voila.
we know nothing.
Yeah.
We know nothing.
Yeah.
Which instead of saying, well, then it's hopeless, you're really saying, open to what is, listen, be aware, don't make judgments, and then it will appear.
Just let it come.
Yes.
Let it come.